DangerMouse on the backdrop accentuates all of this, making it possibly Thought's best solo album to date.
Go subscribe, yeah, subscribe.
Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome to Brews and Reviews. It is Knowledge, and today I'm reviewing DangerMouse and Black Thought's Cheat Codes. This was a welcome surprise when they started dropping singles about 3 months ago for several reasons. One, this is one of those mythological albums that you never thought would happen. Not quite on the Detox level, but still, it's been talked about for a long time. Dangerous Thoughts, I think, was the first title, and I probably started first hearing about this in maybe 2006 at DangerMouse's height, right after he came out with DangerDoom and was embarking on Gnarls Barkley. Some of you younger hip-hop fans might not even know DangerMouse was a great producer. Hope from those aforementioned albums. He did the second Gorillaz project, the one with De La Soul on it. When he first worked with MF Doom on that project, November Has Come, a dope, overlooked MF Doom song if you haven't heard that one. And most notably, he did the mashup between Jay-Z's Black Album and the Beatles White Album called the Gray Album. That's what put him on the map for hip-hop. But after that, he seemed to pursue some kind of indie rock dream, but I'm glad that he's finally back in the genre that made him hip-hop. What better return than to do it with one of the GOATs, one of the greatest MCs of all time. This was a great choice for DangerMouse to return to the genre that made him, doing it with Black Thought. Let's get into it. Sometimes DangerMouse slips in a cheat code from the jump with a dope sample here from a 70s soul song, and you wonder if cheat codes isn't referring in a way to the way that DangerMouse samples. The sample even references sometimes it gets dangerous, like this DangerMouse production. And Black Thought shows his eclectic knowledge from the jump by referencing everything from Harry Potter to a photographer named Jamel Shabazz and a writer who wrote about racial themes in the mid-20th century. And this is all within just the first couple bars. And there's also very subtle wordplay from Black Thought amongst some big words. He says, "My dignitary consigliere is Moradine. My skin tone is aubergine. I'm a war machine." Consigliere being a position in the Italian mafia, and aubergine being similar to an eggplant, which is also a racial slur that some Italians used for black people. So tying it in, but very subtly here. Cheat Codes, the title track is more aggressive musically than the previous track. It's a little stripped down too, as DangerMouse beats go, at least. And frankly, this is my least favorite beat due to the repetitive, almost metronome sound, the deek, 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 deek sound throughout the entire beat. But this does highlight Tariq's bars when he says, "The rated R, everybody risk got razor marks in projects, townships, favelas, and trailer parks." By referencing housing areas where you traditionally find poor blacks, Latinos, and whites, respectively, he shows that class struggle is all the same and not about race. And the cheat code that they're talking about on this song and presumably the album is the only way out of the lifestyle. Perhaps that cheat code is rap or basketball, as you often hear talked about from young African Americans. Darkest part, Black Thought is so slick, subtle, and effortless with the metaphors. I feel like I have to explain everything, but I obviously won't be able to on this hill. I'm not even catching everything to explain it to you, but I do want to explain the first lines here. He says, I'm like Thelonious at the underground piano, dressed in camo, the grenades, guns, and ammo. Death to Sambo, send him a bouquet and a candle. I came to take back the other 2/5 of a man, so. Lots going on here. Thelonious Monk was a great jazz musician with an album cover of him playing piano in an underground bunker surrounded by grenades. Sambo was made popular by the book Uncle Tom's Cabin. He was a character and came to be a derogatory term for black people, and taking back the 2/5 refers to the 3/5 clause of the Constitution of the United States that counted slaves as only 3/5 of a human being and did so to give slave owners more power over non-slave owners. Yeah, the governing document of the United States of America is racist as hell. Let that be known now. Raekwon comes in, and he's a nice surprise as a feature, though he doesn't add much to the subject matter. No Gold Teeth, the first single and still one of the dopest tracks. This track definitely reminds me of some of DangerMouse's early work and what he did on DangerDoom especially. And speaking of that, make no mistake when Thought says in his lyrics, "Get the gas face," he's referencing the third bass track where Doom made his first high-profile appearance that really put the rapper on the map. And lyrically, this is more braggadocious than Thought has gotten on the album so far, but we know his braggadocio rhymes are unparalleled. He also explains his longevity in the game with the refrain that he won't stop. Even a nice Eric B. and Rakim interpolation from their frequently referenced My Melody when he says, "Any MC that disagree, just raise your sword." Rakim originally said, "Raise your arm and he'll break it," basically is what he's saying. So Thought seems to say, if you disagree that he's the GOAT, you better be prepared to fight to the death with your sword. Because another standout track sees DangerMouse incorporating some of that indie but catchy rock that he's been involved in recently. And here's some incredible bars by Thought. He says, "The ways never cease to amaze or inspire. Illiterate, the signature's been forged in fire." We've seen Thought's gift of freestyle in real time, and signature forged in fire is a double entendre where a signature could be forged, such as people fraudulently copying his style, but also his signature is his style, and it's so dope that it was created from flames forged in fire. Just some ill bars right here. Joey Badass comes through with a guest appearance on the track, better than anything on his latest LP, and he gives us some street tales about where he grew up. But I really gotta hand it to Russ here. His music most of the time is terrible, but when he rhymes with the gods, he turns up his skill set. He notably worked with Thought on the standout track Momentum off his Chomp EP, and he comes through with a good verse and wordplay here, just like he did on that original track with Thought. Belize, featuring the late, great MF Doom, and not just MF Doom, but some classic sounding Doom that really makes you wonder how long DangerMouse has been holding this verse in his back pocket. To me, that'd be one of the hardest things to do as a musician, is just sit on something like this, especially after Doom died, and not just release it immediately. And you know this was probably written for DangerDoom 2 because he references Mouse to begin with. He says, "Danger, make him groove off a glitch," referencing DangerMouse's off-kilter sampling style. And in classic Doom style, he describes himself in the third person, saying, "A spastic some call loony, when he spit a tomb sarcastic as Paul Mooney." Rest in peace, Doom. I'm glad there are still verses like this in the vault, and I hope to hear many more. And because he brought forth a great DangerDoom verse. I'm gonna drink to this track, and I'm sipping on a Kilt Lifter. That is a 6% from Phoenix, Arizona. Dark Scottish style ale from Four Peaks Brewery. One of my favorite. I can't get it where I'm from. I picked this up on vacation. It's one of the goats. This is one of the goat beers. So yeah, it does actually have a connection. That's why I'm listening to Black Thought here. Aquamarine, it just gets better and better, and there's great sequencing here. I really like the transitioning between this and the previous track, and this features the frequent DangerMouse collaborator Michael Kiwanuka, and I knew this album was going to be incredible when I first heard this as a single because, woo, god damn, Black Thought's verse, it has to get one of those. Even without following it fully, it's masterful in rhyme scheme alone. Lyrically, lots of evolution metaphors packed in and nature of man themes. He says, "'Cause in 215 where folks fight depression and wives pack protection, lives lack direction. I'm a king, I'm dipped in God's black complexion. Survival of the fittest is the natural selection." The second verse, believe it or not, gets even deeper lyrically, and just one of the many multi-layered bars is when he says, "Sensory deprivation to ultimate synesthesia." Again, talking about his evolution, referencing basically having no feeling or stimulation in his verses to having all of your verses just stimulated and popping off at the same time. That's what Black Thought's verses do to you. And this track should be added to the well-packed best of Black Thought verses of all time. Identical Deaths, this track is half lyrics and half instrumental. It's really designed for DangerMouse to go off on the outro, taking us into another dimension physically. After Thought says, "Anger, keep out danger, keep out danger." Then DangerMouse just goes off on the beat. The instrumental almost signifying the journey that Black Thought references in the lyrics, seeming to be about a secular death to arrive on a more spiritual other side. Strangers. This song doesn't really hit until Run the Jewels appearance, aside from a Dr. Seuss flip by A$AP Rocky, which I really got to give him credit for because that seems like someone would have done that flip already, but he's the first that I heard do it, so props to him for that. But Run the Jewels, making waves this year without even having an album out, having the best track on DJ Premier's EP, and LP's verse on Billy Wood's album being a standout. LP kicks it off on this track on some deep symbolism describing his hometown of NYC. He says, "Yeah, straight out of the flames of the city of mine. Since double planes hit the riser's pain on graph been on rise. With Cyclops' eyes, strays stay shattering lives. Out where the poltergeists of history haunt the alive." Double planes line referencing how he's pretty much put his paint on wax since the Twin Towers were knocked down on 9/11/2001. Killer Mike, a little political and braggadocious at the same time, says, "I leave you shot in the seat where they sat Lincoln at. I pop you with the same pistol they pop Reagan with." A little nod to his best, yeah, I said it, best track of all time, Reagan. Close to Famous, we got another great transition between the tracks here, and this is an ill beat and more show-off rhyme schemes from Thought. You can visualize his movements and imagine him sitting in the Hot 97 studio just spitting this in the way that he was moving during that. Saltwater featuring Conway the Machine, and listen to the brilliance of DangerMouse. With the bottom range of the track turned up, a little distortion and a lot of dirtiness. This sounds like a Griselda track in DangerMouse's style, which is exactly what it is. We got some poetic bars from Tariq. He says, I feel your mind spinning in place and just buffering. And all you trying to see is some place with less suffering. Or make a lot of big blue faces just hustling. What could I say that you would embrace? I guess nothing. Conway also comes through with a nice rhyme scheme. And thinking about the earlier track where Thought's talking about evolution, Conway may show the most growth of any rapper of late. And every time I hear him, he's just getting better and better and doing different styles that you never thought that he'd be capable of. And he could be Black Thought with the rhyme scheme that he presents here. And he ends the verse with, after the deal, the label still want to sign me back. The contract worth a few mil, but I ain't signing that. Talking about his split from Griselda Records and how they want him back. Violas and Lupitas serving as the outro with one verse, no chorus. Black Thought reveals the meaning of the title at the end, that his skin is as dark as Viola Davis and Lupita Nyong'o. I love hearing DangerMouse back. He adds unique production that no one else in hip-hop is doing. And I hope he sticks around for a while and works with other great MCs. Black Thought is on an unparalleled solo streak, finally getting his shine and respect for the GOAT that he is. That being said, we got 4 solos now, and I'm ready for another Roots album. It's time. This album, though, displays the best of Thought. The intricate rhyme schemes, the metaphors that are dense and not obvious or treading into punchline area, and grown man rap for real. He's got the callbacks to a greater era of hip-hop, the well-read references that he's so good at, and the racial undertones and positive message of blackness that is his trademark. DangerMouse on the backdrop accentuates all of this, making it possibly Thought's best solo album to date. And because of that, I give it a 9 out of a 12-pack. Thank you for watching my review of DangerMouse and Black Thought's cheat codes. If you like this, go ahead and hit like now and hit me up in the comments if you didn't like it. Also, let me know why in the comments. I drop hip-hop and hops related content consistently, so subscribe to my channel now. And until I see you next time, keep buzzing.
Fucking man says subscribe. But if he's on his channel saying that somebody's album is better than mine, unsubscribe to him.
No, your album's the best, man.
There you go. Subscribe.
Yeah.
Subscribe.